But the truth is, and this is how I feel, that I'm working for you. It doesn't feel like I'm working alongside you. Everywhere we go is you saying, Bridge, we need you here at this time. This is going to sound so bad because of how we perceive it, but it almost does feel like I'm working a corporate job.
Hello, namaste, Zarna Garg here with the Zarna Garg Family Podcast. So excited to have all 5 Gargs in the house, and today's topic is going to make you and your family members fight. You're not going to agree, and that's how it's going to be. We're going to get right into it. We are going to talk about the pros and cons of building a family business, the pros and cons of working as a family and building something together at all, whether it's business or anything else. Let's get right into it. My husband of 26 years, Wall Street veteran Shalabh Garg, my daughter who recently graduated college and gave up a corporate job offer to build with her family, Zoya Garg, my son who is a sophomore in college and working in the family business, Bridge Garg, and my little one, my middle schooler, Veer Garg, who also works in the family business. So we have 4 Gargs working in the family business, and my husband who helps us with the family business but is a big believer in the corporate lifestyle. We're going to get right into it. It's going to get heated and it's going to get messy. So who has an opinion?
Yeah, so first let's give some context, okay? We just concluded the most family business we've ever done within any sort of time span. We toured the world. We went to London. We went to India, all over the US, doing family podcast tours. So we talk about different topics. We all pitch in different ideas. I helped do a bunch of media and editing. My sister helped obviously sell the book a little previously, but then becoming a spokesperson from the family business, becoming the podcast leader, and actually kind of a lot of roles that she's kind of excelling in within the family business. Then my brother, who has been doing a lot of different things. He obviously acts in skits. He was on stage. He was doing a bunch of different things. And my dad, who obviously is in the podcast and is in skits very, very often. So we're all paying.
But to be fair, I have my own business as well. So it's like I'm the only one amongst the 5 of us that is a visitor in the family business and participant, as opposed to that being my only, thing. And honestly, scares the shit out of me, the state of the world, where I would not be doing something of my own, because I love finance. I don't want to be a podcaster full time.
This back to school season, set your child up for success with Mathanasium, the math learning center trusted by over 1 million parents. Mathanasium makes math make sense through personalized instruction that builds skills and confidence. Start today with a free assessment at mathanasium.com.
As much as, if the family business was the business of just resting, I would be part of it. Oh. But being that it's not just the business of resting, but also working 24/7, I think I would like to have a whole different business that allows for resting on the weekend.
Yeah, and okay, I'm going to be honest. There are many points that I want to bring up during this episode, and I think Dad just started with the first main one, which is he wants to do his own thing in finance. Like, that is what he's passionate about. That's what he wants to do. So even though he's working alongside us and I guess I will say part-time role within the family business, he is doing his own thing that he's passionate about, right? So going forward, and the reason why I want to talk about that is because for myself going forward, there are things that I'm going to be passionate about that the rest of the 4 of you guys aren't. Or maybe you 4 are very passionate about something that I'm not passionate about. That doesn't mean that I have to just fall in line with what you guys think to make my role more prominent within the family. It just means we can all coexist and work alongside with each other while we're building as a family. And that's my first point.
I disagree. Okay. Who else has a point?
Okay, I think...
Are you going to expand, or are you just going
to... You're just going to completely...
You're not going to do things away from the family. If 4 people are feeling passionately, you have to feel passionately and jump in and do the thing. What is there to talk about? I don't know who's giving you these ideas that you will be passionate, you will not be passionate. We are agreeing on one thing. We don't need 5 different passions.
Okay. I think my main takeaway from a family business is 2 things. First, in order to succeed in a family business, you have to really be comfortable with the idea of your family being your best friends. You have to really be comfortable with the idea that most of your time, well, depending on what type of family business it is, but for us, obviously, there's a lot of traveling involved for the live podcast shows. So you have to be really comfortable with spending all your time with your family. The second thing is that you need to be able to put a fight and complications on pause, because there were many points during the tour in India, especially in India, because we were there for longer than London and the other things, that we got into fights over whether it was something simple or deep. Maybe it was just like too many things going on at once. Then we had to go into the show and kind of act like nothing happened. So we always keep it real in our shows, but obviously you don't want to bring that negative energy onto stage. So in order for a family business to succeed, you have to be comfortable and okay with the idea of those two things.
Oh my God, that's so true. Like there was one day where I just was hysterically crying, right? Like I am definitely.
Why were you crying?
I was Dad, I was hysterical in the hotel. Like I was a mess. You would have thought
because you were tired or emotionally.
I was 100 things. First of all, there's no sweet green in India. There's no sweet green in India. Like I just can't get over. Like,
but you have vegetables. You could get other things.
But you can't eat raw vegetables.
Yeah, there's just a lot of food complications.
It's just so different. Everything is so different. I don't mean to sound insane, but everything is so different. And I was having a moment. I was really having a moment. And Veer came up to me. And, like, we were about to go into a business meeting. And he came up to me. And he just, like, I don't know. He just looked at me and, like, was like, you're going to be okay. And was just so grounded. And I was like, okay. There's no time for this. And I immediately snapped. I think that's one really interesting aspect to the family business is it reveals shades of your family relationships that you would never experience otherwise. Because there's so much seriousness or there's such you're demanded so much more out of you from the people in the room that you become like almost a different person. Like the relationship is so different. And I think that level of maturity that I discovered in my relationship with Veer wouldn't exist if we didn't have to actually do business together. So I think that's a really cool part of the family business too. Definitely pro.
Yes.
What else, Mom? Other pros and cons?
I mean, I like the idea that we are building together so we get to be together. Like, yes, it was a lot of chaos. Yes, it was a lot of traveling and all of that, but we got to do it together. There were fun moments too. There were a lot of moments where it was like, I mean, I remember when you had a corporate internship last year, you didn't control your time.
Yeah, I did.
I couldn't even talk to you when I wanted to talk to you because it was
Wait,
like,
to clarify on my point, I meant that you have to like spending time with each other because otherwise, like, you have to be comfortable with liking spending time with each other. I just want to clarify.
But why would you not?
I do. I'm not saying I don't.
What is he supposed to say?
I'm saying generally for a family business, in order to succeed, you have to like and be comfortable.
Yeah, because you're working and living at the same time. There's no distinction. You're not leaving the job and going home to rest or do anything. Your job goes with you at home. The people you're working with are still at home with you. So it's a constant 24-hour immersion. But it's a great immersion because we all get to build together. Like this is where maybe your dad has a different opinion on this because he's been pro-corporate.
Well, I also have a different opinion on this.
No, you do not have a different
Go,
opinion.
Bridge, go!
Let him talk at least. What do you have a different opinion, Bridge? Explain.
You keep saying build together, and I love the idea of building together. But the way you're saying it makes me feel like you're saying we all have to build the same thing together. But I disagree. I think that we can build alongside each other together. You know, we know this one couple that actually we mentioned many times, Tara, who's Didi's mentor, her and her brother like built together, right? I would say they built together. They lived in the same house and everything, but they worked on separate things while building together. They bounced ideas off each other, workshop things, and did almost very similar stuff that we did, but they didn't do it with the same company, which is something that I find really fascinating about their relationship with that, because that's kind of where I want to be positioning myself within our company, is more like I don't necessarily feel like I should have to build something that I didn't want to, like it's not my baby. It might be your baby and I'm building it for you. And I've done that many times very happily and thankfully for that opportunity. But I feel like going forward as I get older and more focused on my own thing, I would much rather build my own thing alongside you guys and have like our inputs still bouncing off each other, but not necessarily be the same thing.
I feel like you're always on the verge of breaking away. This has been a constant struggle that we've had with you.
Vibe I get.
No, because you know what you guys do? Not you guys. I shouldn't say you guys. You know what you do, Mom? Is that
What?
you make it so that like you keep making it so that if I say anything that's not perfectly in line with the family goals in life, it's like I'm completely trying to run away from the family. and you do that so often, but I'm challenging you to think a little bit differently, and the way in where it's not me trying to run off, but me trying to stay right next to you guys, just do something else. And that doesn't necessarily mean being like, okay, bye family, thank you so much, and just leaving and never talking to you guys again. It's like, I still want to be there, and whenever you need me, I'd love to be there so we can work together. And if I have an idea of something we can do together or build something, we should do it. But that doesn't necessarily mean the same exact thing.
Well, one thing that I learned from Apurva, who, you know, is the co-founder of Dharma Productions with Karan Johar, incredibly the most important production company in India. He said that whatever you do in whatever venture you're in, whatever you're assigned in the business has to be yours. Like you have to feel full ownership over whatever vertical, and that goes for any person that is like a founding member of the company. So even early hires, or, you know, like there can't be that your hand is in everything and you get to have a say in how everything is run. And no, you are accountable to whatever sector of the business you're in, and that is your thing to grow and to build and to be fully yours. Now, I would say that has worked out really well in our business in general, right?
Yes,
like
because I'm very hands off.
Honestly, I give you...
That's the way that you say that gets me upset, and I'll explain to you why that gets me upset and why I'm so passionate. This whole episode, I'm just gonna keep attacking at this everything, right?
Do
because
it.
I mean, hold on. First of all, just so the audience knows, this is not my first time airing out these opinions to my family. We talk about this maybe daily, every 2 days. Like, this is, just so you know, and that goes for everything I say in these podcasts. I'm not one to just say it when they're vulnerable or something on camera. Like, I say it whenever, at any point. But specifically in life, and I've made this very clear to everybody in the world, in life, I want to be an entrepreneur, right? I want my position to be the founder, the person who came up with the idea and who made the thing with everybody else. I don't know if I'd be the best CEO. I'm not that old yet to decide whether that should be my position with something I start, but I want to found my own thing. And when you say you're very hands-off, my issue with it is that right now, the way that the family works is that I'm working for you. And that's genuinely how I feel. And I'm not saying I'm not saying you did anything wrong or you're manipulating me in any way. Like, this is not one of those, my mom tortured me my whole life growing up. This is not like that at all. I'm so thankful for every opportunity you've given me and all the work I've put in for the family. But the truth is, and this is how I feel, that I'm working for you. It doesn't feel like I'm working alongside you. Everywhere we go is you saying, Bridge, we need you here at this time. It's always your things that you're creating for us, which is an unbelievably great opportunity, and I can't stress that enough. But sometimes I feel like, damn, I feel like I'm working almost, this is going to sound so bad because of how we perceive it, but it almost does feel like I'm working a corporate job in some ways. Not the same corporate that we're talking about when we talk to Dad's Wall Street job, but corporate in the way that I'm working under a boss and I'm looking to impress all the people around me to get a promotion. It really does feel like that a lot of the time. And that's
does not look like you're going to get the promotion.
Yeah, Dad!
What? I don't even know why that got a laugh, but I think part of why
I mean, nothing I say ever makes you think that I should get any
I don't know
response.
what was funny about that.
Dad is the sleeper comedian. I will die on the hill that he is the sleeper comedian.
I feel like Bridge feels that way because Zoya has a very competitive streak in her. And the two of them are competing or something, because I'm not doing anything to make you feel that way.
What?
How did you? I am very competitive, but yes. I don't feel Bridge and I
don't feel the slightest.
If anything, I feel like when Bridge. Okay, but this is true with everyone in the business. When people work hard, I want to work very hard, right? Like that is how human beings exist on Earth, right? Like that is also why you want to only hire killers so that you can be more of a killer, right? Like that is the whole point. So I don't think that that's such a bizarre thing, but I don't feel like, oh, I need to perform better than Bridge. Like it's not a relative thing.
It's not a
like that.
Okay.
Can I point out a con that I have observed in the family business as someone who has mostly been in a corporate his entire life? Yeah. And Bridge, I know you wanted to say something. Is it something that can wait, or
no, it can wait.
Okay. Is that you don't get to learn from the inside of someone who's been in the industry from much before you.
Well, that's actually a good point, Dad. And I have a counterpoint to that because, first of all, there is a huge advantage in being naive to the way people have done things for the last 20 years. In fact, with the advent of AI and the way that the world is restructuring and going to continue to restructure, it's actually more important than ever to be nimble and to be building systems from the ground up, as opposed to inheriting systems just for the sake of inheriting them. The second point I have is we're very lucky because the business has grown to a point where we get to interact with a lot more people outside of our team. So even though, yes, we work with our team, we work with the podcast network. So I'm very invested right now in learning how this network is selling ads and how we can provide a better experience in our podcast, which means that I'm reaching out to all these different people who have had podcasts for a long period of time and, learning about that. And we also work with other teams. So it's never the case that we're working, because the business we're in is very creative. We're collaborating with other creators who have a certain set of ways they do things. So, or even, for example, I got to meet money managers today who we've recently started doing business with, which is very new and very different. They have been managing and working with entertainment talent for 40 years. They are they are very corporate.
But that's a vendor. So you, of course, work with vendors of different kinds. Someone who will manage money, someone who will manage talent.
But why is it different?
Your mother has agents, your mother has lawyers. So you will obviously have a lot of vendors that you'll have exposure to. But the actual core of what you're doing, which is entertainment, right? You don't have the wisdom of someone. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, I do. But what I am saying to you is that these vendors that we're very entrenched with, you learn a lot actually from them about what worked, what didn't, how it's the industry as large, like how to create value in a way that is surprisingly like the way that you would learn, I think, from a mentor's in other ways. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying that you would think that we're very siloed, but it's a lot more expansive than that.
Yeah, but I mean, I get what your dad is saying, in that there is no direct mentorship for everyday business and everyday how is an office set up, how a team set up. And I think me personally, obviously, I gravitate towards the other side. I think that the risk of being in a corporate setting is so high that once you start getting used to that life, it just becomes that much harder to switch over to a guerrilla style where you are figuring out things yourself. We're going to take a quick pause to tell you about our brand sponsors for today's episode, mathanasium.com. Now, if you know me at all, you know that math and science are very important skills in our family. My own kids have used Mathanasium periodically through the summers, through school years, on and off, depending on where we live, because I really believe in this lifetime skill of building principles of math. No matter what you do, no matter if you work for somebody, you're an entrepreneur, you're a creative, you're a STEM kid, you need math. Because guess what? You get paid in math, in numbers. You need to know how to do dollars and cents. All my kids have done math since they were very little, and I cannot recommend Mathanasium highly enough. Listeners today can get a free assessment at Mathanasium to start the school year off strong. Go to mathanasium.com and find a center near you to redeem your free assessment. That's mathanasium.com. Go to a center. You will find lots of kids who are all actually enjoying math. Yes, I know you don't believe me, but these kids who do math regularly start treating it like a sport and they learn to fall in love with it. Do not delay. Always stay ahead of the curve in math. So there is truth to the idea that you don't get to see from the inside how things are built. But that itself has pros and cons.
But we're specifically talking about family business. I want to talk about a criticism I've been getting a lot recently. And I'm very open to criticism. And I'm working also on
feedback. What did you just say? What did you just say?
I'm working on accepting negative feedback and transforming it into constructive insight. I am. It is something I'm working on. I'm 22 years old. Okay. Anyways, so I'm working on it. And one criticism I've been recently receiving a lot since I graduated from college is that I am too dependent on my mom and that I don't have a voice of my own. And that is a very it's been very hurtful to hear that. Not because I'm like sad or anything. No. Oh my god, Dad is so sweet. He's saying, "Are you talking about me? Should I change something?" Guys, men of the world, please learn from the sensitivity that my father has.
Oh my
He wasn't
God.
talking about that.
He's not talking about that.
He was talking
bro.
about his microphone.
Oh.
Wow.
Oh, that's so funny that just happened.
Okay, well, I thought in the comment section he was talking about what I'm saying, so I'm gonna just proceed with that
Okay.
because it was a more.
But you should still, you can say a nice thing about me. It's not a big deal.
Okay, well, wow. I want to respond to this comment. One thing that family businesses are notorious for, especially when there's a lot of front-facing people, is one person in the business will be the shining light at a given moment or for a long period of time. That is true of so many family businesses. It's true of entertainment as a whole. I wish that it was more obvious to people how much we disagree and how different our points of views on things are, and how that has done wonders for our family business in terms of actually having a diverse set of perspectives. There are a lot of things that I agree with when it comes to my mom's decision making, but I push back on a lot of things that we do, and I feel I have a lot of agency and say in whether or not we hire someone new, in how we make decisions about money, in how we see investing in certain projects and what we see ahead. I think in America, especially having just come from India and seeing how life and business operates there, it's almost like everybody needs to be the founder CEO in order to feel like their work is truly relevant. And I think that harms more businesses than it benefits them. I actually think that if you have a lot of conviction in like, I am providing value every day and I'm working on building something every day, it's I don't know if what I'm saying is making sense, but I basically want to respond to that.
I don't think it's that deep, honestly. People have opinions on everything. So they have an opinion on you. Right now, if this was Apple computers and you were like aligned with Tim Cook, people would be praising you. You would be Apple's best employee because you saw the vision and aligned perfectly with the CEO. But because it's a mother-daughter situation, people have to villainize it. What they don't understand, they're afraid of, and they choose to villainize. If tomorrow you're working at JP Morgan and you're like, you did everything that JP Morgan asked you to do, you would be the A+ employee at JP Morgan.
I guess what I'm saying is
that's a great point, Mom.
Yeah.
This idea that
really
you're not
good...
doing this and you're not doing that, people see a family that's united, that's building something, and they get nervous because they don't have it, or they don't know how to even fathom what that could be. It is such an unusual thing, just so you know. It is such an unusual thing for 5 people in a family to even agree to want to build something.
I guess what I'm saying actually is that I understand what you're saying, and I think that's an optimistic view of saying things, but I agree with a lot of things you say. I do simply agree with some of the things that she says.
Yeah, but I'm saying there's nothing wrong with
yeah,
it.
but I'm also saying
that people who are trying to make that into some sort of character flaw, there's nothing to be hurt by it. It's like people are going to find something to say about anything. If we disagreed too much, they would be like, this family never agrees.
Well, yeah, I'm saying that more so like that has been something I've received a lot ever since I decided to go full-time building within this family and with my mom. And I don't know, it's something that gets
my guess is you get that a lot because you're not surrounded by other people who do that. Most people in America that we know are busy building by themselves or with their co-workers or friends. The idea of a family building this intensely together is a very unusual thing in America. So everybody who watches from the outside has an opinion for it and or is threatened by it in some way or other. I guess
that's, you know what, I'm going to just speak to that a little bit more, not to be a negative Nelly, and I'm not trying to be a negative Nelly.
Negative Nelly?
What? What's a negative Nelly?
A negative Nelly is like you're just being a negative person, right?
Oh.
Like,
Never heard that before.
No need to be a negative person.
That's
Anyways, so One thing about a family business that I find really interesting is there are family members in our extended family that are very unsupportive
Yes.
because they are confused why our family is doing it and they aren't, or I don't know what the hangup is. When you are doing anything with your family and you are trying to build something with a family, you will receive quite a bit of pushback from literally every person in your world, including your own extended family members, which I have received quite a bit of, feedback from them in a negative direction. And so that is something I also want to bring up is you have to have a very thick skin. You've got to have a very thick skin, and you have to have a lot of faith in your own family members that you are working with, that they have your best interests in mind. That is something that's super important. And
Yeah.
there are so many crazy stories of, like, the brothers that had the shoe company and then they started competing against, was it Adidas and something else, or
It was Adidas and New Balance.
New Balance? Like, there's
Yeah.
so many crazy stories of families having to then become competitive with one another, and who knows, like, where life will go. And I don't want to, like, be so kumbaya and say that it's going to be all perfect and rainbows and the whole thing, but that is a con. A con of a family business is that you can't explain what you're doing so clearly to people outside of the family business. So people are very skeptical of you. It's not like I'm a software engineer at a company.
Yeah,
It's
but
very
nobody
easily
is
likable.
listening. My issue with all of this is why you're listening to what anybody thinks. Them being skeptical of me, I don't read any of those comments. I read comments that make sense to us. Like, people are skeptical of the whole world. You do anything good,
Okay,
they've got an
mom.
opinion.
To be fair, you are very good with responding to negativity, and I think it's different for Dee. I'm not trying to say you are in any way, but I'm just saying that for somebody who's working on being able to handle negativity better, it's different for her.
But don't you think I've improved recently?
I'm not saying you haven't improved. I'm
Yeah.
just saying from your
I feel like
perspective, it's
I've
different.
improved quite
You
a
definitely
bit.
have improved.
Guys, I'm like trying so hard. Mom, do you think if you were our age, you were really young, like you were a kid, and you were in our position, what would you do differently than what we're doing?
I don't know how it would be if I was in your position, but I know that my whole life I haven't really cared much about what anybody thinks because nobody was there to help me build my life ever. Your dad and I built our lives entirely. Every moment of it was built on the back of our own work and on our own hard work. We've never reached out to people and said, please step in and help us, and nor would they do it. So anybody's opinion only has relatively low to none importance in our lives. We've learned the hard way. I have certainly learned the very hard way that in the end, you have to stand by your own convictions and build what you believe, because literally the world could be on fire right now and nobody's going to come in to save me.
But I think what's interesting about what you're saying is I feel like sometimes Bridge craves that independence that you guys get to have. That's also
It's not that I crave the independence that they get to have. It's just that, okay, I have a question for you, Mom, before I make my point. Do you feel like me, not Didi or Veer, I personally am at least a little bit of a Nepo baby?
No.
No.
And why not? But why
Not at all.
Why not?
Because first of oh my god. Okay, I just need a minute to like regroup. before
Okay,
I
then why don't we let
answer
Dad
this,
go
because-
and then you can go?
No. Okay, you go first. Shut up.
I mean, Bridge, the definition of a Nepo baby is someone who benefits directly in a financial way from his family's resources, right? You've never had those resources.
I have had those.
What do you?
I
Wait,
have
hold on.
many
I don't think
yeah.
that's the definition of an Nepo baby.
Guys.
Veer go.
Okay, go
The
ahead.
you just said that. Okay, then if that's the definition of a Nepo baby, then literally every kid in the world is a Nepo baby.
Yes, agree.
Okay,
You just
fair
said that-
enough.
No, okay. I want to define a Nepo
There
baby.
is no established family business that you're joining.
Yes.
A Nepo baby is the kid.
If I had a hedge fund, a big hedge fund, and you were joining that,
Yes.
that would be a Nepo baby. If your mother had an established entertainment business that you were joining, that would be a Nepo baby.
Since day
You
one,
say
we've
it
been
so
building this together. There was nothing there to inherit or to pass on. We've been building this thing since day one. I've been saying it from the rooftops that this is not my business that you guys are joining. It is a family business of which I am the face of at this moment. There was Nepo baby we still don't have. I've tried explaining to you. We still don't have. I mean, as successful as we look to the outside world, we have the weight of the world. We're not established in any way. If my Instagram account shuts down tomorrow, half my business is gone. That is not a Nepo baby is like, oh, you have 3 generations of something or 3 decades of something, and this kid just stepped in and took the top
Walmart
job.
kids are Nepo babies.
Yeah. But they're Walmart kids. They're literally the richest family in America. We are trying to survive. There's no lie in this podcast, and there's no lie between us. We have all 5 worked since day one. There are videos of you, Bridge, specifically. Forget
No, hold
everybody
on.
else. Hold on.
I
There are
yeah.
videos of you when you still had braces in your mouth when we were doing videos. And that video, that original video, is the foundation of how this business was built. So how is that being a Nepo baby? A Nepo baby walks in at the last minute and takes advantage of the family's success. That is what a Nepo baby is.
Okay.
I don't even. I mean,
Hold on. I get to go
Secondly,
now.
hold on. I need one more thing that I need to clear, and then you guys can talk again. The second thing is, I have been insistent since day one that each one of you will have at least one, if not multiple, technical skills. Multiple technical skills where literally you are undefeated. If you were to enter the workplace, you would actually get paid a lot more than what I'm paying you guys. There is no concept of you guys get to do the easy jobs in this family business. We've been very clear. I mean, this trip when we were in India for 10 days straight, you were editing the most intense editing job that we've booked in the last 5 years. Literally, a video that had to be edited so specifically with so many problems, with so many restrictions that only you and me sitting next to each other could do it. That is not what a Nepo baby does. Just so you know. Hello, Namaste. We're just going to take a quick pause to tell you about our brand sponsor for today's episode, my favorite new online destination for buying my clothes, luxury essentials for so much less, fabrics, colors that are classic that you want to wear, I want to wear, wash, fold, everything easy, done with common sense. Quince.com. This dress, my summer dress, my favorite. I wear it all the time and I can't wait to head up their fall wardrobe. They are stacked with all the colors that we love, all the fabrics that we can't wait to touch and feel. Keep it classic and cozy this fall with long-lasting staples from Quince. Go to quince.com/Zarna for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/Zarna. To get free shipping and 365-day returns, quince.com/Zarna.
Okay, now it's my turn. Just to be clear to the audience, I definitely was not thinking I'm a Nepo baby because for the exact same reason she explained, I was just curious about her explanation of my question. But to extend what I'm trying to say is that the truth is this. A couple things. One, you have put in the most work when it comes to this family business by far, right? You have put in the most work as becoming successful to making this family business be a thing by 5 times me. Let me not speak to the siblings because I have no idea how they feel, but for me at least, 100 times more than I have. And not only that, but as you should have been, you got rewarded with being face of it, with everyone knowing that you're the leader, you're the CEO, you're the founder, you're the everything of the business. And again, me pointing to the fact that I'm working in this corporate setting within the family business. Okay? So what I'm saying going forward is that if I ever want that level of like, I built it and having my own thing and like, I don't want to say earning the people's respect because I know how complicated that can get, but it is true. Like earning the people's respect, right? People out of my 8,000 followers, 7,000 of them follow me because of you. Right? They follow me because of your page, your face, me posting you on my Instagram, me making videos and graphics with you on my Instagram, right? That's where majority of my followers, the people who know me, come from. If I ever want to have my own thing that I stood on, that I didn't rely on your connections, that even with all the Apurva Metas and incredible people in the world, I wouldn't have access to them if you didn't send the email or if they didn't email you, right? If I ever wanted to build my own thing, where I had that and I created that and created those opportunities for the people around me, it would have to come through my own source of what I'm doing, right? Otherwise, it'll be virtually impossible or be a 20-year game of me waiting decades down the line to get that respect, to get that level of I built my own thing from the ground up. And I'm scared, honestly speaking, I'm scared that I'm getting so comfortable within my position in the family business, with getting paid by you, with living in your house, with getting all these different things. I feel so comfortable that I'm never going to be able to leave it. Similarly, how dad never left the corporate setting because of how comfortable he was. I feel like I'm getting so comfortable with my place and how it feels so.
I
feels
think you're
easy almost to be
way,
within
way
that company.
overshooting, Bridge. We're like literally in level 1 of building something. I don't know what you're getting comfortable with, because we literally work 24/7, 365 days of the year. What are you getting comfortable with? The only thing you're getting comfortable with is building as intensely as we're building. There's nothing there. Like, if you want your own fame and glory, you could break away any day and go start from ground zero and go build your following. Building a following is not as deep as it might look. People just have to decide that they want to do it, and they will do it. And I understand what you're saying. I really do. That if you want to be the face of it, and we what you've become comfortable doing is understanding the responsibility with which we are building this thing, and getting your sleeves rolled up, and with building with us. We live with so much stress that you don't even know how much stress you live with. You don't know. When your dad was working in corporate America, right? Shalab, did you, from Friday evening to Monday morning, did you worry about your job when you were in corporate America?
Yes.
When you were working at JP Morgan, I mean Morgan Stanley or whatever?
Friday evening to Sunday. Why did you pick that TP?
Because you get those 2 days
Oh,
off.
free, yes, because I've always been in a trading job, but not everybody in a corporate job is in a trading job.
Yes, but whatever your story is, when you are off, you're off. When you're off the grid, you're off the grid.
Yes, that's true.
What you've become comfortable with is actually the dredge and the work of build. Tell me the last time, Bridge, you felt free during this summer of 2025.
Okay, not at all. But okay, first thing I want to ask Didi a question. But I hear what you're saying, and I want to respond to.
I think you thinking that somehow you're becoming comfortable. I'm actually shining a light on what you're comfortable with.
This conversation is stressful.
You become comfortable with working so hard that you don't even know where the work ends and where the work begins.
I agree. I'm not saying that that's not true. And I've learned, and again, all of my greatest habits have built throughout working with this family company. But again, I'll never, if I stay the course, right? If we not,
Yeah.
Okay, I'm saying stay the course in the way you're imagining it, because I imagining staying the course is something obviously very different as you imagine it. Because I always imagine us working alongside, but you obviously think of that differently. But going along with your definition, which I think everyone understands, of staying in the course, if I stay your course, I will never have that, like, Apple moment, the Apple, Microsoft, Cursor, name any big company moment of I in my dorm room made this and I turned it into this. Even if I give you, mom, the best ideas in the world, I create the best e-commerce store, I help you with your best marketing plan.
Okay, let me give you an empirical evidence, okay, Bridge, that will surprise you. Everybody knows that Bill Gates founded Microsoft, right?
100%.
But what you may not know is that his second in command, Steve Ballmer, today, his net worth is more than Bill Gates.
But Dad, I don't care about my net worth at the end of the day. I'm going to be honest. Like, money is not my driving factor. I'm not out here thinking, oh my God, I need dollar bills. I'm
Hold
thinking,
on.
Why did you bring up that example?
No, and hold on.
But
Speaking
that's
of
a
Bill
good
Gates,
example.
No, but
I have
hold on.
Yeah.
Speaking of Bill Gates, what you may also not know is that it was actually his dad who funded and started that whole company that made Bill Gates Bill Gates. He didn't start the whole thing by himself. It was funded and initiated by his father, just saying, who was also a millionaire.
But who's okay? We can go much deeper into that, but I think it's a worthwhile point to bring up. Also, I don't even know who that CEO is. He's probably done 100,000 things for that company to make it big. I have never heard his name in my entire life. Now, that could be me ignorant to the tech world and not being indulged enough, but I'm willing to guess. Veer, have you ever heard of that person?
No, I haven't.
Do you know who started Apple?
Steve Jobs. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly, right? You know, it's not about, I want, in my life, I talk about how a lot of times you have one life, right? Choose what you do. You can choose how you live your life is how you live your days, whatever. I want something, personally, that I took from ground zero, nothing else. And with every other complication that comes into it, you put out fires every day. I want that. I'm not putting out the same fires you're putting out. And I'm scared that I'm so comfortable. And even though I'm working so hard, even with all the work I'm putting in, I'm still not putting in as much work as you are, Mom, right? And I'm scared that I will never have that thing that I took from ground zero and built it into whatever empire. I might fail my whole life, but I would rather fail my whole life trying to get that than to never give myself the chance of getting that. Right?
But
And
nobody's
So
standing in the
then,
way of it.
but Brish, then why don't you just do that? Why are you?
Because the point I'm trying to make, and I brought this in the beginning of the episode, is that for me to do that, it requires you focusing on one singular thing. Everyone in this family knows the importance of focusing on one thing and making it the biggest thing you possibly can, and really indulging yourself in that role. I envision myself doing that alongside the family, where Didi or you or whatever, and Veer might start his own thing or maybe do something, Dad does something, whatever, and we all work together. We work, we bounce ideas off to each other. We have strategy meetings at dinner of different things. We hear each other out. We build poster boards or whatever, the whole nine. But that's how I envision it. And it doesn't feel like, honestly, that you envision it like that. And you can correct me if I'm wrong, but that it doesn't
I
feel...
don't envision it like that, but I'm open
Yeah.
to it. I'm not like, oh my God, Bridge, kill every ambition of yours so you can work in this family business.
Okay, wait.
It's not
I
like
wanna
that. Like, nobody here is thinking that. Like, if you said you are headed to college in 2 days and what you do there is now entirely in your hands, you can design it, you can execute it. If you said, Mom, I'm really passionate about this thing that has nothing to do with comedy or entertainment and all of that, we would all understand. Like, nobody's going to stand in the way of that.
Okay, I want to make one point before we get to that, wrapping up this episode. My main con or the two main things, one Didi already said, the two main cons that I observe in a family business is first the loss of independence, which Didi already spoke on. Well, for me, obviously, I don't have independence regardless.
I was about to
because I'm not old enough. But the main, that was something I observed during the India trip because it affected Didi. The main con of a family business, in my opinion, is that I feel like at some point, we also learned this through the dinner or the breakfast with Apurva Mehta. At some point or at some level, I genuinely believe that we've sacrificed leisure for work. I think that at dinners, breakfast, lunch, or whatever it is, it always boils down to being, let's talk about business. What's our next thing? Are we going to create an app? Are we going to do whatever? At some point, it used to be when Dad was the breadwinner. I guess I wasn't old enough, but I feel like it used to not. And I'm not saying this is necessarily a negative thing, but it definitely has shifted more from leisure to work focus for things that are mainly related to work. Is the main flaw that I feel like. I feel like
I just got goosebumps.
life has definitely. I guess it's also because I'm getting older now and there's more things that matter in my life. It's definitely become more work focused.
Yeah, what else matters? We're just out of curiosity.
But it's I think it's a fair question to ask. Like, do you sacrifice what family is actually about? Family is supposed to be about, like, that's the person that you can reliably go to when everything falls apart. Like, there's just, you can personally feel safe and emotionally comfortable with.
And I'm not saying that I don't personally feel safe, because I always have fun with Baya and I have a lot of good conversations with Didi, especially in the last month. I'm just saying that generally our family has become more work focused.
I think it always was. I think that you're just growing up into that realization.
I want to say something too before we wrap up. The reason we made this episode is to talk about our experiences in a family business. I really believe that whatever people decide to do with their careers, like, there's no better choice or better decision, right? Like, it all matches up with what you want and your incentive and your imperative in life. It's not like if you choose a corporate job, you're better or worse than somebody who builds a family business, who's better or worse than somebody who builds a venture-backed startup. It's just different. And and all I'm saying also is that if you build a family business, there's the pros, which we talked about a lot, and I wish we had talked about more, honestly. And then there's also the cons. And in that same vein, like, if you do a corporate job, like, there are very obvious pros and very obvious cons. And I think a lot of people aren't honest about that because they believe they can have it all. To be honest, that's just how I feel. Like, I feel like people don't actually, whatever people decide, they either see it with, like, rose-tinted glasses, this is the most excellent thing and there's no other thing. And that's obviously not true. There's trade-offs to everything. That's literally how the universe works.
There is no right answer, as we've seen. I mean, there's a lot of pros to family business, which we couldn't even get to because it's such a
Yeah.
heated and loaded topic. But we want to hear what you think on this topic. We want to hear what's going on in your life. What is your dream scenario? Do you want to work with family in your life? Do you want a corporate job? And if so, why do you feel strongly about one or the other? We want to hear it all.
And
As we
comment if you
end,
want to hire me.
okay, one of my sons may be available for hire. And as we end every episode with a round of good grades with Garg, so too we're going to end this episode with good grades with Garg, where each Garg gives another Garg an A grade for the winning moment, the entertainment, or the enlightening educational moment of the episode. So who wants to go first?
I want to go first. I'm gonna
But
give
your
my
mic's
A grade.
muted.
Oh, I'm
Sorry.
gonna give my A grade to mom. I am so honored to be a part of your business, and to get to build with you and to get to learn from you. I think you're a one-of-one person on this planet, and as much as the conflict that exists within figuring out roles and responsibilities and my own voice exist, I think we're doing something very unique and very original, and I'm just very grateful.
Thank you.
I'm also going to give my A grade to mom because I think that the opportunities, the strategy, the risks you're willing to take is something that inspires me so much. It really does inspire me so much. Half of what I've learned, all my habits, everything are a reflection of you, and I owe to you, and I'm so grateful for everything you opened up so many doors for me, is what I'm trying to say, and I'm so grateful for that. And working alongside of you, working with you, whatever it may be, the things that I've learned from you is the reason why I'm confident that I can be successful in a different endeavor, or whatever endeavor I'm looking forward to. So thank you for that.
Oh, thank you.
Okay,
But you're not breaking away anytime soon. Anyway.
I'm gonna give my A grade to Baya because I think that the little speech he gave mid episode about how he wants to be the founder of a company, I think the honesty was real, and I think that I'm gonna take a lot of things away from that speech, and I think that it gave me a new perspective that I didn't see before.
I'm going to give mine to Veer for acknowledging that Didi is dealing with negativity and doing better at it. And so generally being emotionally so, well, it's really the grade is for Veer for the recognition of everyone around him in the family, which he does such a great job of. And this one was just an example of it.
Wow, so much love in the family.
I'm going to give my A grade to Shalab for being the lone holdout voice in this family. And despite all the pressure, despite all the ridicule almost that we sometimes send his way for being a corporate guy, but he believes what he believes and has been proven right many times over time. This one remains to be seen, but it's a lot to be in a family where four people are always constantly headed one way, and one person has to dig in his heels and be like, no, I see it another way. It's a lot of pressure to be up against that, and I applaud the honesty of it, and I applaud the courage that it takes, because honestly, I think today in 2025 entrepreneurship is glorified, hustle and grind is glorified. You actually have to be a little bit of a courageous person to say, I just want a corporate job and I want to do well at it, because there's
That's a
no
very good
glory
point,
in that
Mom.
right now. If you every influencer out there will tell you corporate America is bullshit, even though corporate America is what runs America. So I appreciate that he is being able to have perspective. It would be the easiest thing in the world for him to jump onto our bandwagon, and he chooses not to. So for that reason and for so many more, this topic was very loaded, was almost an emotional topic for us. Please like, share, and subscribe this episode if you enjoy this type of thing. We want to grow our world of ambitious families. Really, that's our wheelhouse. Ambitious families that either like to build together or like to help each other build. Whatever your iteration of it might be, we want to see your version of it. And until we meet again, thank you so much for tuning in, and everybody say bye.
Bye.
Bye.